Welcome back everyone, it's Yugi Bros, and today I have a duel video featuring... I've waited for this card in Speed Duels since Attack from the Deep first got announced, and sadly we just never got it. It would have made Levia Dragon out the gate playable, it would have made Slushy maybe viable, I don't know, there would have been a lot of things, and then when Kairyu-Shin got announced for Trials of the Kingdom, it would have also made that a lot better. Today I'm going to showcase all of those things in this duel video. Now, I think there are multiple ways to play Legendary Ocean. I don't think this is the only version of the deck we could be playing. I think there's another viable option with a Legendary Fisherman, number 2, but I will save that for a different video. Today, we are going to showcase the Kairyu-Shin version. However, unfortunately, for some reason on Duelingbook, the skills, at least in the skills page, are there. However, the new cards for the set are not legal on the Speed Duel page. So you have to do this BS where you go into the regular custom card thing because you gotta play a Link looking custom card that's the skill. You gotta put it on the field, you gotta top your 5th draw, you gotta pay 4,000 life points, and then, yeah, it's kind of just a whole series of BS. I was going to honestly wait until this stuff was on Duelingbook on the Speed Duel page to, you know, reduce the headache of doing all of this. And then show you guys the duels. However, it's been a week since its release, or at least since its OTS release officially, and Duelingbook still hasn't updated it to their speed section, so I'm going to upload these videos. Kairyu-Shin, we're playing Terror from the Deep as the skill. This card says you activate it during your main phase while you control Kairyu-Shin. Keep in mind this is not once per duel, which is why this card is really good. When the skill is activated, you can activate Yumi directly from your deck, hand, or graveyard. While you control Kairyu-Shin, all water monsters you control are unaffected by trap effects. That is also just a very strong effect. If Kairyu-Shin you control leaves the field, draw 2 cards. If you do, flip this over. All of the duels that I will be posting, and I will make a note of it in every duel video that I do, is going to be using the YCS Niagara list, which is the same list they are using for this upcoming YCS in Minneapolis. We more or less just look at that as the norm, at least for now. Whether they have finally decided to make an official announcement on whatever they use as a Speed Duel ban list in the future, you know, we'll cover that when we get there. But we're gonna use the YCS Niagara list, which is also the Minneapolis list for the foreseeable future in our duel videos. So we're gonna start things out. Also, the opponent is playing the Crystal Beast deck that won the 2 giant cards at Niagara, literally card for card. The same list. Oh no, I lied. There's one difference. There's an Amber Mammoth in this deck. There was not in that version. But they're gonna start out here with DD Warrior Lady, set Dust Tornado, and activate Looking into the Future. Looking at the 3 cards. Oh, can we? Oh, we can hover. Okay. Dust Tornado, and Topaz Tiger. They're going to stack accordingly, and they're going to pass turn. We're going to draw for turn, and we draw into a copy of Double Summon. We're going to normal summon Slushy, which says when you normal summon it, you can send a Slushy from your deck to the graveyard. And then if you have 3 copies of Slushy total between either banished or in your grave combined, you can banish this card from your grave, target a level 5 or higher Sea Serpent in your grave, and special summon that target. So we have ways to recur the Kairyu-Shin. The deck is literally just Kairyu-Shin.deck, so we are playing the maximum amount of ways to get this thing out between Big Wave, Small Wave, Double Summon, Foolish Burial for more Slushies and or other cards to use. We're going to Summoner's Art Kairyu-Shin. We're going to activate Big Wave, Small Wave, which says we destroy all water monsters we control and then special summon waters from your hand up to the number of monsters destroyed by the effect. So Slushy goes, we get Kairyu-Shin, they let that go, we immediately use Terror from the Deep, which says we activate it when we have a Kairyu-Shin, we get to activate a Yumi directly from our hand, deck, or grave. Here is the fun part. A Legendary Ocean's name is always treated as Yumi, so that means in all areas it is Yumi, so anything that gives effects to Yumi, for example, like this skill, you can do with a Legendary Ocean. So we now get a Legendary Ocean out from the deck. A Legendary Ocean, the card I've been hyping since the beginning of time. You're gonna read this, and you're gonna be like, wow, why is this such a big deal? I'll show you. All water monsters on the field gain 200 attack and defense. Cool. Carries 2,000 attack with this. The big effect of this card, however, is reduce the level of all water monsters in blue players' hands and on the field by 1. So that now makes this, if it's in our hand, a normal summon just straight to the field as 2,000 attack while this is up, obviously. And Levia Dragon, which we'll get to later, goes from a 2 tribute to a 1 tribute, and comes out at 2800 attack that says you can send a Yumi from your field to the grave to destroy all other cards on the field. It's basically Judgment Dragon with Yumi, but in this case we're going to use a Legendary Ocean. So we summon the Kairyu-Shin. We're going to activate then Foolish Burial, dumping the 3rd and final slushie. So we have our slushies set up for the future. Then we're going to go into battle phase, and we're going to have Kairyu attack their defense, which is DD Warrior Lady. They're going to trigger DD's effect, banishing both monsters. So this is interesting, because now Terror from the Deep activates, which says, if Kairyu-Shin you control leaves the field, draw 2 cards and then flip this card over. So we draw 2, and it flips over, but we can't do it with the links, obviously, in this setup, but just pretend it's flipped over at this point. They then go into their turn, normal a Topaz Tiger. They will banish 3 again, once again, use its effect. Looking into the future is probably the strongest skill in this current game. It just gives you perfect information all of the time, and you just can't play spells that turn, so you just don't play that many spells in your deck, or only quick play ones that you can set for your opponent's turn. The card is ridiculous. They're going to set Dust Tornado and Conclave. They're going to swing for 1600. We're going to gladly take that. We don't need to worry. And then they're going to Dust Tornado in the end phase. Not really sure why they didn't just do that immediately. Nevertheless, we're going to draw into a copy of a Legendary Ocean. We're going to activate a Legendary Ocean. They're going to let that resolve, to which then we will normal summon Kairyu-Shin. As I said, it is now a level 4 and it's 2000 attack. We're going to set Book of Moon and go straight to the battle phase to swing over the Topaz Tiger. Keep in mind, Topaz only gains the 400 attack if it attacks, not if it's being attacked. They're going to flip Crystal Conclave, which says if a Crystal Beast is destroyed by battle card effect, you can special summon a Crystal Beast from your deck. So they're going to have it sit in the Spell and Trap zone and summon another Topaz Tiger through the Conclave's ability. They're going to end phase Dust Tornado the back row, which is our Book of Moon, and they're going to go into their turn, drawing into Sapphire Pegasus. They're going to use the effect, putting another crystal in the Spell and Trap zone. Keep in mind, in Crystal Beasts, most of the time when you play this, you don't really want more than 1 crystal in your Spell and Trap zone at a time, because the only thing you're really going to be doing with it is using Conclave's effect to target or Crystal Regeki's effect to destroy. But they do have the Conclave on the field, so it is alive to bounce a card. They do this by sending this face-up card on the field to the grave and targeting Crystal Beast card they control and a card on the field, returning both to the hand, so they can use these as options. And that's what makes this deck so resilient, is just its ability to have free bounces or destruction with Raigeki. It's little +1s here and there. It's a control deck for sure, but it's really, really good. It's really strong in what it does. So they're going to Conclave here. They cannot target... sorry. They could target our Kairyu-Shin. However, all our water monsters, while Kairyu's on the field, are unaffected by traps. So if they use Conclave here to try to bounce this and this, I believe this gets bounced and then Kairyu just sits on the field. It says them, so I'm pretty sure this would go, but this would stay. So they're going to bounce this so that Topaz can then swing over it. So they're going to bounce both. They're going to then activate their Looking into the Future, of course, once again, giving them perfect knowledge and resetting the top 3 cards of their deck. They're going to go into battle phase, have Topaz swing over the Kairyu-Shin for 200 damage. Since it is now 18 because the Legendary Ocean is no longer in the field, we're going to use the skill to draw 2. Oh, it seems so ridiculous, doesn't it? And then they're going to swing for 18. Now, you would think after all these draws, we should have a little bit more advantage than we do have. And yes, the deck is very glass cannon-y in that sense. We're going to draw into Levia Dragon. So we're going to activate the Summoner's Art here, grabbing our 3rd and final Kairyu-Shin. Yes, we are playing 3. I figure if the deck ain't broke, don't fix it. We were going to try other options like Legendary Fisherman 2 or Hydrogeddon, but the deck revolves around this card. You want to see this card as much as possible to get the most advantage out of it. So we figure we just play a maximum amount of copies. We're going to activate a Legendary Ocean, normal summon the Kairyu-Shin, activate double summon, tributing the Kairyu-Shin for Levia Dragon because he's now 1 tribute because of Legendary Ocean. Then our skill triggers because our Kairyu-Shin left the field because we tributed it. So we're going to draw 2 cards, limiting us down to 4 cards to their 12. And I'm pretty sure this deck was 22 cards at the start. We're going to activate Levia's effect, sending the Yumi, aka a Legendary Ocean, from the field to the grave to destroy all other cards on the field. Then we're going to activate Slushy in the grave, bring back the Kairyu-Shin, go to battle phase. Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to then trigger Terror once again, reactivate a Legendary Ocean, because that's what it does. Then go to battle phase, swing for 2,000, and swing for 28. That's 48 damage in 1 turn after blowing up the entire field. I bet you guys didn't see that coming, because until we drew for turn, I sure didn't see that coming either. Alright, going into game 2. Let's do the shenanigans where we have to top deck a bunch of stuff, activate a bunch of cards. They're gonna normal summon Crystal Beast, Sapphire Pegasus, getting Topaz Tiger, setting Wall of Disruption, and Dust Tornado, activating their skill before ending their turn, resetting the top 3, and passing turn. We're going to draw into Kairyu-Shin. We're going to activate normal Slushy, activate the effect, sending Slushy to the grave. Previously, Slushy was never really good because this was the card still really isn't really good. If you have no follow-up and you're just sitting on a monster with 0 attack in attack mode, you're not doing yourself justice, so you need to either protect this or pop it with such and such cards. We're going to Big Wave, Small Wave here, sending Slushy, summon the Kairyu-Shin. They're going to let that go. We're going to activate the skill to activate the field spell. We're going to then send Book of Moon, have Kairyu attack the Sapphire Pegasus. They're going to Dust Tornado the Legendary Ocean. So our monster goes to 1800, so it crashes with the Sapphire Pegasus. But we do get to draw 2, thanks to Terror from the Deep. We're going to pass on that. They're going to draw into Crystal Raigeki. As I said, this is a card that says send a Crystal Beast card from your Spawn Trap Zone to the grave, then target a card your opponent controls and destroy it. It's really, really strong. It makes use of these things after they die. The deck has really good resiliency. They're going to use Looking into the Future once again, stack the top 3, set the Crystal Raigeki, go to battle phase, swing for 1600. We have a Book of Moon, but we don't feel like we really need to use it right now. I look at life points in Speed Duels as you usually take most first attacks unless you really need to preserve your life points, and then you just, you go from there. We draw into Summoner's Art. We're going to activate Summoner's Art, adding the Kairyu-Shin from deck to the hand. I don't know why we summoned it there, but you know how it goes. Activating a Legendary Ocean, they're going to immediately Crystal Raigeki this, and it makes sense, obviously. They've seen the power. They need to stop. So we're going to set the Slushy, unfortunately, set up Book of Moon. We already have the other 2 Slushies, so this will set up the third one in the grave, assuming we live to next turn. But with two Book of Moons, I think our chances of that are pretty good. They're going to draw into Dust Tornado. They're going to use Looking into the Future once again, stacking the top 3. Man, this skill is insane. Absolutely insane. They're going to set that Dust. They're going to have Topaz swing. It's obviously up to 2000. At this point, we are going to Book of Moon it because we need the Slushy as a tribute, a hard tribute, believe it or not, for our Kairyu-Shin. We figure that's the smart play here. So we're going to tribute summon the Kairyu-Shin by distributing the Slushy, using our skill to activate a Legendary Ocean from the deck. Then we are going to activate the Slushy in the grave, bringing back another Kairyu-Shin. So we have 2 2000 beat sticks, setting a Book of Moon, going to battle phase, and swinging. And they normally would use Wall of Disruption here, but again, to reiterate our skill, while we have Kairyu-Shin on the field, all our water monsters are unaffected by traps, so it would do them nothing. They would get nothing out of that. So we are free to do whatever we want here. They're going to Dust Tornado the Legendary Ocean. They might as well. It puts them off from being attacked exactly by 2 Kairyu-Shins per game. But they are in a compromising position currently, and they draw in a Conclave, which is not going to save them. They're going to use Looking into the Future once again, stack the top 3, but even with that, they unfortunately don't have an answer to us. We're going to go straight to battle phase. We're going to have a Kairyu attack for 1 and Kairyu attack again. Alternatively, obviously, we could summon the Levia Dragon by tributing both of these and drawing 2 thanks to the skill. However, there's no real reason to do that. Also, a ruling question I actually don't know the answer to. If 2 leave the field at the same time, do you draw 4 or not? I'm not exactly sure. It doesn't say Kairyu-Shin or Shins with the apostrophe S in parentheses. I would imagine it's still 1. They're both happening at the same time. But I do want to kind of, if anyone knows in the comments down below, please put that down. So for the deck list, we have triple Kairyu-Shin. Like I said, you want to maximize seeing this card. I don't know if you need 3 Summoner's Art to back it up, but we wanted to see it as much as possible. We tested different variants of the Kairyu-Shin version. And while like I said, I have other decks, other Legendary Ocean decks planned, and I will definitely showcase them on the channel. This is the just Kairyu-Shin deck is what we were calling it. So it's triple Kairyu-Shin, double Levia Dragon. You don't need 2 Levia Dragon, but seeing this card is really necessary. The Legendary Fisherman version, by the way, this side deck is not a legitimate side deck. This season at least, we're gonna focus more on the main deck than the side deck. We're gonna leave the side deck up to you guys. This is just other ideas that you could play, and I'll get to this in a second. The thing with Fisherman, if it's destroyed by battle or leaves the field by an opponent's card effect, you get to add a level 7 water from deck to hand. And like I said, I'll showcase this in a separate video. This does search Levia Dragon directly, and you can normal summon it to the field for free if Legendary Ocean is live, because it becomes a level 4 in your hand, and it goes to 2400 attack, which is ridiculous. It's also unaffected by monster effects when Yumi's on the field, but again, we'll touch on that in a different video. But if you don't have a Legendary Ocean, or once your opponent sees how good the card is, they keep popping it, keeping you off the card. I didn't want to have another tribute summonable monster in the deck that is not a Sea Serpent that can't be facilitated with Slushy. So we're not playing this, and instead we just opted to play the second Levia Dragon. So it's 3 Kairyu-Shin, 2 Levia Dragon, 3 Slushy. You need 3 of this to resolve its effect. I really wish this card had some type of attack points, but unfortunately it just doesn't. So you have to make the maximum use of getting rid of this after you normal summoned it that turn through either Big Wave, Small Wave, or Double Summon, and I'll touch on why we play both in a second. 1 Foolish Burial to mill this, or one of these if you have all 3 of these in the grave alive and ready to go, because it can bring back either Levia or Kairyu-Shin. They are both level 5 or higher Sea Serpents. 3 Legendary Ocean, of course. So the logic behind 3, and I understand the skill lets us automatically activate it from the deck or hand or graveyard, but with seeing it all the time gives you the ability to set this up before. To activate this, you need this on the field, and drawing this dead early without a way to normal summon it for free, without a big wave or a double summon, just really throws the deck off balance. So I still would suggest playing triple of this. You could alternatively play 2 of this in like a metaverse or something, but I also like Book of Moon a lot in this game right now, so instead of the metaverses, we're playing the books. But this card nonetheless does set up everything, makes this 0 tributes, makes this 1 tribute. Obviously you've seen what the deck can do. Triple Summoner's Art, triple Book of Moon. I just think this is still like the best Jack of all trades type card. 2 Big Wave, Small Wave, and 2 Double Summon. Now the reason we're playing 2 and 2, we were doing 3 and 1, but this card, the downside to this is if they know you're on it and you summon a water monster like a Slushy and they out the Slushy right then and there, this is dead. This can't do anything, whereas Double Summon, if you have like a Legendary Ocean or something, can still normal summon you this or another Slushy, for example, to go into whatever you need to go into. They're both pick and choose, pretty niche depending on what your opponent does to the first water monster on your field. But this can also rush the opponent, like if you have a Slushy and one of these and you need to bring out like a Levia and another one or something, you could destroy both to bring out both. This is also just consistency. Yeah, you probably don't need 4, but we were playing 3 with just Big Wave, Small Wave, and we kind of felt the need for Double Summon, so then we were on 2 Big Wave, 1 Double Summon, and again, we were kind of just like, what if we just play 4, maximize it? The 22 cards in the deck doesn't really matter. The deck kind of fuels itself. The skill gets this out multiple times in the game. The draw 2 from the skill lets you turbo through your deck pretty quickly. You could also alternatively play something like Sphere Karibo in the deck. We were on that. We ended up cutting that just because Book of Moon's just a better like Jack of all trades, like I said. But, you know, it is what it is. The side deck, I just had like other ideas. Make a suggestion, like I said, I would maybe play this. Like I said, you could play the 3rd Big Wave over the double summons. You could play more Spell and Trap Hate in the deck. You can't play Cosmic if we're on Book of Moon. Granted, you could play Cosmic and change this to Floodgate. That's always an option. But if not, you could play the Dust Tornadoes. Again, it's all player preference. Legendary Fisherman 2, if you want to mess around with it, it's kind of cool. But I think he actually has a more dedicated build, which we will get into in the future videos. Creature swap, also an amazing idea in this deck, because if you creature swap Slushy, first off, whatever you're trading Slushy with, you're just running Slushy over and you're doing free damage. You could alternatively do it with Kairyu, and he's just 18 on their field. However, you won't get the draw 2 effect from the skill if you destroy the Kairyu-Shin, so that is something to keep in mind. And then we play a blank extra deck in case we were to go into like Waking the Dragon in the side deck. The thing is, most of the time, once people realize how this deck works, they actually pop your Legendary Ocean more often than not, so Waking the Dragon might just sit there dead. But with that in mind, you could actually play like real trap cards or real spell cards that would usually get blasted off something like Dust Tornado, and then they'd actually be alive. because they're hitting this so often, so frequently. So just something to keep in mind. But guys, that is the deck list in a nutshell. Please let me know in the comments down below what you think. Like I said, we're going to have more Legendary Ocean decks on the channel for sure. I've only been waiting 3 years for this, so I'm definitely interested in seeing what we can mess with and what we can kind of break. Like, comment, and subscribe. As always, click the notification bell to get all of our latest updates, and I'll see you guys in the next video.